Got Your Back Podstream is brought to you by JL Financial Solutions. If you're an Albertan looking to plan your financial future, you want someone you can trust. Together with Sun Life's estate and financial planning services, JL Financial Solutions will develop a plan you can be confident in to grow and protect your wealth. Give Jonathan Lambert and his team a call at 780-733-0910. Ooh, is that echoing for everybody? Zuby, we got a big echo on that, I think. Hey, buds?
Is it gone now?
Let me listen. I think we're good, pal.
That was just in our ears, but that's okay.
Oh, okay. So the people at home, the people on the live stream couldn't hear that.
I don't think so.
That's okay, buds. Off to a great start.
We're on our way. Yeah.
Ready to rock and roll. Welcome to Got Your Back, folks. Off day podcast. Off night podcast. Oilers staring down the barrel of elimination. For dramatic effect, my plan tonight was to start the podcast with a poignant clip from Leon Draisaitl. So let's pretend I haven't said anything yet.
Not much to manage here. We're one loss away from going home, so get ready for tomorrow and lay everything on the line that we have. We got to get one win and bring it back to Vancouver.
One win and bring it back to Vancouver. That was weird music in the background. That was at the hotel today in Vancouver, the team with the media availability before they flew. We got tons to get to tonight. Rob Brown is standing by. Jason Strudwick's going to be joining us at some point as well. And we've got Zuby at the helm, coming at you from our long shot studio. Happy to be back here in Sherwood Park. All Oiler game nights during the playoffs. All you can eat wings, $25 a person. Some conditions apply. Visit Long Shots out here in Sherwood Park. And as always, our program is brought to you by our proud title sponsor, Sherwood Buick GMC, where last month they were awarded the General Motors President's Club Award, given to the top 50 GM dealerships in Canada. If you or anyone you know is in the market for a new or a pre-owned vehicle, make sure to go check out Sherwood Buick GMC. 10 Auto Mall Road is the address, or online at www.gmcpod.com. I got the Sierra 1500 Elevation, and it is a fantastic set of wheels. Okay, Jason Strudwick's going to join us probably for the next segment, and we got Brownie now checking in. Brownie, how you doing, pal?
I'm doing very good. How are you?
Yeah, rock solid, man. Zuby, just point of technical thing here. On my monitor, I'm just seeing our title page. Is that okay? Is that normal?
We're good. Your monitor might be a little bit behind because we were on the title page for quite a bit there, but on mine.
Oh, okay. All right, good to know.
We're live and up to date.
Perfect. Good to know, buddy. I don't need to see your pretty face. I just need to hear your voices. Zuby, you are the representative of the fan base here on the show. You are the one who goes through the roller coaster with our listeners and our live streamers. So I will ask you, my friend, how are you doing? How are the people doing? How are the fans doing? Where is your head at, pal?
I'm not sure I always speak so much for the fans because I'm pretty level-headed about it. I was watching and listening to the stream last night. I mean, we had people saying the Oilers were done after game one. Really, like no joke. We had a bunch of people, not Canuck trolls, actual Oiler fans, saying it was over after they lost game one. So it was certainly disappointing, that loss last night, although it wasn't like the game where they got goalied a little bit. They didn't really, that game they might have deserved to win. Last night, I didn't think they really deserved to win. So it's too bad that they wasted such a great effort by Calvin Pickard specifically. But they lost. They're coming home. They got another shot to win it at home and to get it back to even. I'm even keel. I'm optimistic.
Even keel and optimistic. Brownie, that's probably most of Oiler Nation right now. Hey, bud. Even keel and optimistic.
Well, I got half of Oiler Nation on my text groups, and there's fear. There is a lot of fear.
Straight up fear. People
Yeah.
are afraid.
There's a lot of worry right now with my buddies. The one thing that I did appreciate last night after the game, the Oilers know they didn't play well. There wasn't the, we could have won. We just needed a bounce. I mean, McDavid said it best. They were better. They deserved the break at the end because they were the better team all night. So you would expect a much better effort from the Oilers. This game, it may not look like it this series, but it's following what a script of this type of series would be. The Vancouver Canucks won Game 5 on their ice. Now you go back to Edmonton. Edmonton's supposed to win on home ice, and that forces the Game 7, which is a flip them. So it's been a weird way for them to get to this place, but Leon said it best. It's simple. We go home, we play our best game, and we win a hockey game, and then we decide in Game 7. But I'm optimistic. I picked the Oilers in 6. Now they're going to have to do it a little bit better for me in 7, but I don't see this as being doom and gloom yet. This is a series where there's been 5 one-goal games, and there's a couple games that could have gone either way. So I still have belief.
Close. So close. Zuby, let's do this, bud. I want to put up a poll.
Yeah.
So you can put up a poll for our live stream. But this is what I want you to do, Zuby, and you can pick whichever, like you're the fan, so you would understand the emotions that fans are going through right now. Pick 4 emotions that fans might be going through. Run the gamut with them. Yeah. But here's the thing, people. Here's the thing. I'm going to ask you to be honest, right? Don't just say the right thing. Don't just be the fan that's like, oh, I'm going to put optimistic because I'm putting that positive. No. I want to know how you're feeling. I want to know the truth. What's sitting in the pit of your stomach right now? Your beloved Oilers, 1 game away from being eliminated, or 2 games away from advancing. Be honest with us. So, Zuby, go ahead and throw that up. And during our Ask Us Anything segments, we will dig into that. What did you say you were, Zuby? Calm but confident?
I said I was optimistic and even-keeled.
We'll
just give you.
Make that one of the choices. Make that one of the choices. Okay. I like that.
Optimistic and even-keeled. Somebody said, a couple people said nervous, so we'll make nervous an option. We'll make despair an option. And I don't know what would be the 4th.
Yeah, you fearful. You know what? You can take a minute and think of it, and you're fantastic at coming up with these polls. So I will leave it to you. You go ahead and throw it up there.
We want to say how are you feeling about Game 6 or about the series?
No. Just how are you feeling about the series, folks?
Okay.
How are you feeling about the series, Oiler fan?
Okay.
And just lob that out there for them.
All right.
And we shall see. Is DEFCON 1 an emotion, says Dr. Nusky Dielson.
That's pretty good.
4PF Cardi says, feeling terrible about the series. Terrible. I'm interested to see which way this goes. All right, we got lots to talk about. A few Oilers talk today. We'll dig into some of that sound. We'll look ahead, potential changes. We got Struddy coming in as well in a little bit. So let's get to breaking it down. Brought to you by Mr. Dirk, a fabulous men's clothing store here in Edmonton. 1939 is the first year they opened their doors and started doing business. They've been making us fellas in Edmonton look great for many, many decades. That's because they got everything that we need. Casual clothes, jeans and pants, shirts, sweaters, shoes, and on the formal side, lots to choose from. Great suits, designs. They can do customs, in-house tailoring. It's just a great place to go to elevate your wardrobe. So check them out at mrdirk.com. Okay, Brownie, we're going to start with Connor McDavid.
Mm-hmm.
And let's throw Zach Hyman in there as well. So McDavid has 1 assist in his last 3 games. That has only happened in 1 other instance in his playoff career, at least that I could find. I took a quick look at it. Happened during the 2017 playoffs against San Jose, games 3, 4, and 5, to my eye. Zach Hyman has no points in his last 3 games played. So the Vancouver Canucks are clearly doing something well, but this is an issue. I'm not sure McDavid is healthy, Brownie. I think that maybe some of these heavy minutes that he's had to play potentially have tweaked what he was dealing with before. Because to me, he looked good, and he's leveled and now maybe dipped a little bit. So I wonder, but what's your sense on his game and potentially his health here?
Well, I never want to talk about someone's health because I have no idea. I will say that he does not or has not looked like the Connor McDavid that we normally get on a night-to-night basis in the last few games. I think part of it may be fatigue. I think part of it is the way that JT Miller has played him. You throw in the fact that every time he is on the ice, you watch Connor in the regular season, there are honestly games, like 5, 6, 7 games where Connor doesn't get hit or knocked down. Like there's long stretches. Now it's almost every shift they're finishing the check on him, and he's getting knocked to the ice 4 or 5 times minimum per game. And these are big men. They made an effort to hit Connor every chance they get, and they should. He means the best player in the world. I think you add the fact that he played a lot of minutes, and you've got these big, heavy men every single shift, pounding him, that eventually has got to sap some of your energy. It just does. I know he's superhuman, but at some point, you're not at 100% if you're playing that many minutes, and they're hard minutes. It's not like, playing against San Jose where you can play 28, 29 minutes and you don't get touched the whole night, and it's just like you're in a skate-a-thon. This is heavy, heavy minutes that he's playing, and eventually you don't have the energy that you normally have. And then now you're in the third period of a game and you're desperate for a goal. Usually that's where his extra reserve comes in. He doesn't have it right now. So I don't know if he's healthy or not, but I do know that the way the Canucks have played against him and the amount of minutes he's had to play has taken a toll on him. In my eyes, that's what it looks like.
Just going to run through a couple of stats here, courtesy Natural Stat Trick. Leon Draisaitl, hits taken 14. Connor McDavid, hits taken 18. Evan Bouchard, hits taken 16. What else we got here? Evander Kane, hits taken 16. Zach Hyman, hits taken 16. Cody Ceci, hits taken 23. Pretty good numbers. The Canucks are doing a good job of leaning, for sure. We'll go up here and take a quick peek, and I'll stagger this by points, and this is at all strengths. Brock Besser, hits taken 5. Elias Lindholm, hits taken 4. JT Miller, 10. Nikita Zadorov, 13. Probably 12 of those are Evander Kane. Who else has gotten hit a little bit here? Looks like Connor Garland's gotten hit a few times, 13. And it looks like Elias Pettersson has gotten hit about 14 times, give or take. And then somebody else, Philip Hronik's gotten hit a little bit too.
What's Quinn Hughes at?
Okay, give me 1 second here. Let me find him. Quinn Hughes is at 9 times. Quinn Hughes has been hit in 6 games.
Which is
strength.
And again,
Ridiculous.
It's not easy hitting the best players. It isn't. And Quinn Hughes is incredible at escaping. But I know that you watched it, and I watched a lot of the Nashville series. I mean, every time he touched the puck, Quinn Hughes was run over. Every time. So 9 times in 5 games, it's not enough. And as we've seen in this series, I believe Quinn Hughes has gotten stronger as the series moved on. And normally in a series, you start to see guys tire as the series moves on. Pettersson has gotten stronger as the series has moved on. I think Connor Garland, even though he's been hit more than some of the other guys, has gotten stronger. So the Canuck players seem to be getting stronger, and some of the Oilers' best players, and I think, and you're the one that touched on it, Connor and Hyman, have not gotten stronger as this series has moved on. I think the Canucks have done a good job. We talked about it last night. The more you hit early in a series, the more it'll affect those players later in the series. And I do believe, to an extent, that has affected some of the Oilers' best players. The amount of physical abuse they've taken has taken its toll, and we've seen that the last couple of games.
Some are asking what the hit totals are for some of the Oilers players. Ryan McLeod has 7 hits in 6 games. Evan Bouchard has 6 hits. Brett Kulak has 6 hits. What do we got here? CC and Derek Ryan are at 5 each. Leon Draisaitl with 4. Matthias Ekholm is like 4. Corey Perry has 3 hits. And again, people argue that these aren't the best kept stats on the stat sheets, but over 6 games, it's going to reason itself out, and it's not going to be horrendously inaccurate after 6 games. So at the top, Evander Kane and Dylan Holloway leading the charge with 17 each. Connor McDavid is doing his part, 14 hits. By the way, he's been hit 18 times, has Connor McDavid, as I said. Warren Fogel's up there. He's got 13 hits. Vinny Darnay's got 11. Nugent Hopkins is 9. Hyman's around there too. So, I mean, bottom line, and I've been harping on this from the beginning, Brownie. I think that there's a physical investment you make early in a series and it pays off later in the series. I think that the Vancouver Canucks had the expectation to make that physical investment from their coach, and I think that it's paying off later in the series. I don't believe the Edmonton Oilers had that expectation from their coach and from one another. I don't believe they put a priority on it or think that it's important to make sure and leave no doubt that you're taking care of that. It's not the sense that I get. Here's Knobloch again today. When I asked him again today, well, you'll hear my question.
Look at the scoring chances through this.
Actually, I didn't grab my question. What I said was, do you think you're being, are they being more physical, and do you think it's taking a toll on your team?
Look at the scoring chances through this series. I think we've done a heck of a job defending. Maybe it's not as well last night as we have the previous games, but there's a fine line of running around, finishing your hits, and playing well defensively. And, I thought we've done a pretty good job of defending.
Yeah, and it's consistent, right? He's been consistent. Every time I've asked him about this, he's been very consistent. It's just the way this coach believes the game needs to be played at this time of year. Would rather check with your legs, check with your stick, rub guys out when you can, and sure, throw hits if they're there, but no expectation, Brownie, when you step over the boards to make sure you get a body on someone before you come back to the bench.
Well, it's funny. I'm sure that you heard Mac T talk about it, and he more or less, to summarize, be noticed. You know what? If you're not scoring, hit someone. There's got to be a physicality in everyone's game, but more so guys that are in the bottom of the lineup who aren't expected to score. When you go on the ice, your expectation is to finish every check and pound and pound and pound. I mean, Craig McTavish is a Stanley Cup winning player, and he played in that role. He understood that he wasn't in your top 2 lines, that he was going to have to go out there and be noticeable doing those types of things. The Canucks understand that. And I've been fortunate. I've played in both roles in the National Hockey League, and I knew that when I was in the 3rd or 4th line, my job every shift was go out and hit someone. And it's a fun job because the expectations are not high for you. Okay, if you just go out there every shift and you get 2 hits, come back off, we're happy. Don't have to score. Just go out and hit somebody. Finish your check. Be solid defensively. And I do believe the Canucks probably have to have that game plan more so for the fact that they're playing against Connor and Leon and Nuge and Hyman, and they probably aren't as skilled as the Canucks. But the Oilers also have guys in the bottom 6 that aren't expected to score. And those guys' job when they come on the ice is to finish checks. McLeod needs to hit more. Fogle, who's doing okay, but still more. If you're not doing something offensively, make an impact in the game a different way. And I don't know if enough Oilers are doing that yet. And what you love about the opposition right now with Tocchet, if you're not getting it done, he'll just go get someone else out of the press box and put him in.
Yeah,
and say, all right, you go get. And look how much better Höglander was after sitting out 2 games. There was a message sent. Yeah, I know you scored 20-some goals for us, but you're not giving us what we need. He sits in the press box, he comes back in, and that was his best game. Called out Pettersson. That was his best game. So I do believe that the game plan, to me, I would expect that if your name isn't McDavid or Leon or, well, actually just those 2, anyone else, every time you have a chance to finish that check, you have to finish that check because it does pay dividends as the season or as the series moves on. And we're seeing that right now for the Canucks, who have made that physical part of their game a big key before each and every night. And it showed in last game. The Oilers looked tired in the last game, and the Vancouver Canucks, to me, look like the more energetic group.
You watching any of these other series?
I am, yep.
Like, they do not subscribe to that same theory, my friend.
Oh, you mean it's all physical?
Oh my God, they're running around trying to kill each other out there. Like,
it is unbelievable. The Boston Florida series. Seriously, I can't believe there's any players left in that.
I know.
And I'm watching right now the Colorado Avalanche against Dallas. Same thing in Colorado, the team that's down in the series. every single opportunity to run a Dallas Star player they have, and it's been a fantastic series. That might be going to Game 7 as well.
Forgot to mention, by the way, another depth player, fourth line guy, Connor Brown, 2 hits in his. He hasn't played as many, but 2 hits for Connor Brown in there. Okay, let's circle back to where we began this whole thing. We got sidetracked on this physicality thing again, although it's fair. But we started talking about Connor McDavid and Zach Hyman. And I asked Chris Knobloch today, what he felt was going on with McDavid. Now, I asked him about both McDavid and Hyman in the question, but I think he might have ended up speaking a little more specific to McDavid as we get back to the Weiss-Johnson soundbox.
A lot of that has to do with luck. A lot of that has to do with the other opposition just not giving him enough space. There's a lot of factors, but just to say that he's not playing well, I think would be far-fetched.
Struddy, what's going on, buddy? How long have you been there?
Not long, quite a few minutes. I don't know.
Are you serious? Was he on? Yeah. I don't have the proper screen up in front of me, so I didn't even know you were there.
Yeah, that happens sometimes, right? Just old Mr. Forgotten.
Well, listen, I meant to talk about McDavid and Hyman first and dig into that, but we got onto the physicality thing again. So I'm not sure if you got anything you want to add to that conversation. We talked a lot about it last night, but again, Knobloch kind of doubling down on the idea that it's, he wants the team to play a certain way, and that's not necessarily super high on the list. And yet the Canucks have played that way, and it feels like it's paying off.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't really have much to add there. I just think when it comes to the team being tired, I don't think everyone's tired. I think there's 5 guys that are tired.
Yep.
And this is.
Maybe the odd guy's sick, maybe.
Yeah, and that's fair. So I can't speak to the sickness. I can only look at the minutes I see in front of us and know what they've played. And if and I know people say, well, they're elite athletes. I agree. But if it was sustainable, other teams would do that. They would have been doing it where they play their top players 25, 30 minutes a night through every series. The reason they don't is because you can't sustain it. And I thought we saw in the second or third period of the last game. So that's why you don't do it. That's why you can't do it. So now there's a price to pay. And I hope that the guys are able to find their legs prior to tomorrow night's game.
Yeah. And we'll dig in a little bit to what we think they should do in our takeaways segment. We're also going to save the goaltending discussion for the takeaway segment as well. And Zubia, heads up, we'll push Relentless Player as well, because it might have something to do with some of the games that are still in action here. So we'll hold off on doing that one as well.
Okay.
Struds, McDavid, 1 assist in 3 games here. Zach Hyman's got nothing in his last 3 games. I mean, that is a massive turn for the Vancouver Canucks. What they're doing, what McDavid is not doing, like what do you think is happening here with 97?
Well, I think the last game, I think they were a little bit fatigued, but I think we got to give credit to Vancouver. You look at the way that Miller's playing against Connor McDavid, and I think 5-on-5, they're winning that puck. He's winning that battle. And that's a lot to say. You think about that. I mean, JT is not only is he slowing them down, them being Connor McDavid's line, he's also scoring. And that's what just blows me away. He's outplaying Connor McDavid's line right now. And I don't think that any of us would have thought that would have been possible heading to this series, Brownie.
Oh, I agree. I don't know if I ever had an appreciation for JT Miller's game like I do now. I think it was the same as last year. I never really appreciated Jack Eichel till I saw him in a 6-game series, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, that guy's better than I thought. And I think that's what JT Miller. He's a beast, like a physical beast out there. That they showed one clip, and I'm sure you guys saw it, and Craig Simpson talked about it on the broadcast, where Miller and Connor McDavid were fighting for the puck behind the net. And I know, Struds, we would in practice, at the end of practice, you'd have wrestling matches in the corner. It is physically exhausting. So you got Connor and JT Miller fighting for that puck for 12 seconds behind the net, and then JT Miller jumps up into the play and actually gets a scoring chance. Yeah. He had to have been absolutely exhausted. He's been fantastic, and putting Susie back in the lineup last game. They've got. This team is built, and there's so many similarities between Vegas last year and Vancouver this year. 3rd-string goalie, division-leading winning team, Game 5 win at home, going Game 6 in Edmonton, team built with huge defensemen. All the things that happened against the Oilers last year with Vegas, that's what Vancouver has. But for Connor McDavid, he's going head-to-head against Miller, who has been all-world, and he's got some defensemen that they're just closing down on him. Like no other defense we've seen. He is being physically hit every time he touches the puck. And to me, the Vancouver Canucks have worn him down. And I just hope that Connor finds his jump for tomorrow. And I expect he will. But I think right now, last game was fatigue from the way that Vancouver had been playing him.
The way that JT Miller reacted and felt after game 4, knew he made a mistake on a big goal, took it on himself immediately after the game, text his coach to say, hey man, sorry, I'll be better. And then comes out and is absolutely a gamer in game 5. Brownie, should Connor McDavid be feeling similar to the way JT Miller did at the end of that game? I asked McDavid what happened on the goal. We believe it was his man. It was different, right? It was different. Now, JT Miller is a competitor and he, wears his heart on his sleeve in those media availabilities. So he's different. But do you think McDavid feels the same as Miller did after that game, or should he?
Does he feel this? I can't tell how he feels. Probably should. It was his guy. I believe you'll see the same kind of response from McDavid that you had from Miller. I believe tomorrow's game will be McDavid's best of the series and will be needed. Connor McDavid knows that we can talk about fourth line, we can talk about goaltending, we talk about all those things. Connor McDavid knows this team wins or loses based on how he plays. And I believe Connor McDavid is going to have his best game because I think he would be disappointed. He talked about it. He knew that they were the second best team last game. So I think he will be disappointed in the effort of his entire team, including himself. And I believe game 6 will be his best effort. And we're hoping that it's enough.
Struds, what do you make of that point?
I think when you're the captain of the team, you take responsibility for more than your share of your own play, but then also the general team's play. And, there's no doubt the second, third period, that was probably the best period I've seen, two periods of play I've seen Vancouver do. So I think that he's going to feel really responsible for it. I think he's going to be shot out of a cannon tomorrow night. I think the first period, if Vancouver can hang on, I think they have a chance in this game, but I think Connor's going to be shot out of the cannon. Another guy's going to follow suit. But if you look at it, like the fourth line was pretty good.
Yep. Very good.
Leon's line, they had some moments. The third line, I think, is still trying to figure that out.
Brutal. Struds, I'll say it. Brutal. Not good enough. Brutal.
I think that there's 3 parts that aren't fitting together. And then I think Connor's line is going to come out. So let's see what happens. I think it's going to be hard to knock the Oilers out in tomorrow night. But, Connor, he's going to play it all. Now, I'm asking you, Shaugger, any update about Adam Henrique, my trade deadline acquisition?
Yeah, good question. And maybe we'll deal with, if he's coming in or not, where would you put him? We'll deal with that in the next segment. But all I can tell you is that the team did not skate today. They had an availability at the hotel. I saw Henrique. I've seen him around. He's walking around. Like, it's not like he's hobbled around, and he's skated a few times. So if there's any way for him to play, I think he'll get in there and play. I don't know much about the injury. Clearly, he came back a little too early from it. Not sure if that created a setback. If that created a setback, then, that could hold him out. But if he's taken this time and gotten better, then absolutely, if he's ready to go, he will be in there. One more clip before we wrap up the segment. We go back to the Weiss Johnson sound box. And remember, if you don't have an air conditioner yet, with the seasons changing, now's a great time to look into getting one, or possibly looking at a heat pump to cool and heat your home. Visit Weiss-Johnson.com for all of your home comfort needs. Jingle. Nice. 0 for 5, the Oilers on the power play. Leon Draisaitl today discussing it.
We just weren't sharp. Obviously, they put a little more heat on us, but, nothing that we can't handle, but just weren't sharp enough.
Just weren't sharp enough. They will look to sharpen up. That was a breakdown brought to you by Mr. Dirk. When we come back, we'll dig into the goaltending, maybe some line combinations. What do we think this is going to look like? That, Struddy's World, Brownie Points, Ask Us Anything, Take a Lap. We got so much more. Scoreboard. Oh, tons of show left, so stay with us. The fastest growing male grooming company on the planet just got even better. Backscape 2.0 with a revolutionary friction fit handle makes the razor easy to pop in and out to shave not only your back, but anywhere on your body. And those hard to reach spots just got even easier with the new ergonomic design. Backscape's new titanium shave head makes for a smoother, more comfortable shave that respects your skin. Backscape 2.0. Stay smooth, gentlemen.
On paper, my life looks exciting.
In reality, not so much.
Every day it's same old, same old.
Clock in, clock out.
Then I discovered Play Alberta. I can play casino games anytime.
Bet on any game.
And buy lottery tickets anywhere in Alberta. I think my spleen is ruptured.
Shoffley, good.
All right, welcome back to the program. And it is time now for takeaways brought to you by FG Promotions. When it's time to step up your brand game, turn to FG Promotions. Quality, consistency, customization, they got it all. Mention this ad and score yourself a cool 10% off your first order. Head over to fgpromo.ca, mention the podcast, and let's get that brand a-shining. Okay, gentlemen, let's dig into the goaltending conversation. We had it last night. We had our instincts last night. I believe all three of us had said that Calvin Pickard we thought should play. Let's revisit this. Anybody had a change of heart? And I'll start with you, Struds. Who do you think will play? Who do you think should play?
Well, I've been driving a fair bit today and thinking about it and just trying to be non-emotional. I think that's not a big factor in this, but I do like Stu Skinner. I was adamant that after whatever happened after the game Pickard went in, Skinner should go in. But I thought Pickard played so well and looked so confident, he should get another game. And then I watched him play the other night. I thought he made some really key saves, including what could have been a game-saving save on Nicholas Hoglander, whatever his name is now, off the pad, off the post, and save. So I think he's earned the net. And I think that's the biggest thing. I'm not giving it to him. I believe he's earned the chance. He's earned the right to be in the pipe. So I think Calvin Pickard, in my opinion, should start tomorrow. Brownie.
Who will start, Struds?
Who will start? I think it'll be Pickard.
See, I think I would start Pickard. I think it will be Skinner. I think they'll go back with Skinner. It's funny. I think it was Frank Saravelli said today that he would start Skinner because if the Oilers go to Game 7, that would be 4 games in a row for Pickard. And do you really want Pickard play 4 in a row? And I'm like, well, you don't
playoffs.
Well, to me, you don't get to Game 7 unless you win Game 6. So I'm like, I'm putting my best chance in Game 6. So what we've seen in this playoffs, one goalie's got a save percentage in the Vancouver series in the 790, and we got another goalie that's got a save percentage over 900. I mean, it's been no comparison. Now Skinner's more rested. He's their starter, all those things. But what we've seen in recent history, and that's in this series of 5 games, Calvin Pickard has been the better goalie. So to me, it would be an easy decision. I would go with Calvin Pickard. I'll worry about Game 7 when we get to Game 7, but Calvin Pickard to me is the goalie. But I do believe they're going to go with Skinner.
Yeah, I got a funny feeling here, guys. I got a funny feeling. I think hockey logic says it's Pickard. I think it should be Pickard, but I think they might start Skinner. That's what my funny feeling is, that they are going to go against hockey logic, Struds, and they're going to start Skinner.
What shows more balls, putting Pickard in the first place or now taking him out after he's played well for 120
No,
minutes?
Struds. No. The most difficult decision will be going back to Pickard after a loss. That'll show the most balls of all the decisions that he's made on the goaltending, Brownie.
After Pickard after a loss, if they get a loss, they can't go to anybody
No,
else.
what I'm saying is the decision he has to make right now, going back to Calvin Pickard right now, is a harder decision than it was to go to Pickard in the first place from Skinner. That's a tougher decision.
I disagree. To me,
he played well.
He played well. Why is it a tough decision to put the better goalie in?
Because you've got your franchise
Doesn't matter.
starter, your
Doesn't matter.
This Brownie, all that stuff matters, man. That's why you and I both
disagree.
think they're going to do that.
Oh, no, I just think
doesn't matter.
It doesn't. To me, it doesn't matter in playoffs. You play with your best players, and I mean, I've been in playoffs. I mean, all right, you're not playing very well. We're going to sit you on the bench. We're going to play this guy because he's playing better than you. I know you are. I mean, Rick Tocchet just called out his star player, Elias Pettersson. That's the face of that franchise. They just gave him $100 kajillion, and he called him out saying he hasn't been good enough. So they're not afraid to call out their best player. Picker's better. To me, it's simple. You go with your better goaltender.
Well, that's the hockey logic part.
Yeah, and Skinner could come in and stand on his
guys. What I'm saying to you guys is there are more factors at play here than just hockey logic in this moment. Whether you guys think there should be or think there shouldn't be, I'm telling you there is. This is about a second year where Skinner isn't going to be the guy necessarily, or coming out of it isn't going to be the guy.
So what do you think's better for Stuart Skinner going forward, where if they put him in and they lose and he plays poorly, is that going to be better for Stuart Skinner in the future?
But listen to this. I'll answer that with this. Not giving him the chance is going to be bad for Stuart Skinner in that situation. If they play, you don't think that if they don't go back
because a player understands that. All players understand that.
I agree.
And it's Struds. If someone said, you know what, you're not playing well. I know you're a 12-year veteran, but you've had a bad series. Yeah. You're not playing tonight. Would that ruin you next year? Or would you say, well, you know what, they're right?
Tough question to answer. But if you had to guess, which goalie would you want, if you're a player, to be in the net?
100%.
Pickard.
Yes. So why would you go against the rest of your players? Because
you got to put your best
there are
foot
other forces at play.
I disagree. I don't think
why did you say you think they're going to start Skinner? I
think they have a feeling. I don't think it has anything to do with the future of Stuart Skinner. I just think they've got a feeling. I think they go with feelings. So.
Respectfully, I think that's, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think
you're trying to win the series. This isn't about feelings. And I like Stuart
I agree.
I like Skinner too. And it's unfair to the other 20 guys if that's the reason you do it.
This is getting the win. 100%. This is about getting the win tomorrow night. That's all that matters. I at this point, you do anything to get that win and take it back to Vancouver. Anything. And if that means hurting someone's feelings or whatever, you do it. Because you only get so many kicks at this can. You cannot not go with your best foot forward.
So we all agree the best foot forward is Calvin Pickard. Two of the three of us think they're going to start Stuart Skinner. I think it'll be about the big picture.
Nope, I don't think that's
you
why
think it'll be a gut feeling.
I think it's a gut feeling.
What gut feeling has you going with Stuart Skinner tomorrow?
I think they're going to say he's rested now. Calvin Pickard hasn't played 3 straight. Stuart Skinner's been our starter. We believe that he'll bounce back. It's going to be a gut feeling. We think that Skinner's going to give us the game that we need from him. That's why I believe they're doing it. I don't think they're doing it because, you know what, we need Stuart Skinner to have confidence. Because it would backfire. What you're saying will backfire absolutely horrifically if he goes in and they lose the hockey game and they wasted an opportunity where Connor and Leon, who knows if this is their last playoff together, if you wasted that because you said, we better start thinking about this guy's feelings going forward.
Well, I mean, I don't know if anybody's going to say that, but there are forces at play. If you go down this year with your future and your current number one goaltender, your franchise goaltender sitting on the bench, and you go down tomorrow night, the season's over, there's potentially collateral to something like that happening. For a second year in a row, he underperforms in the playoffs.
But isn't there more collateral if he goes in and doesn't play well?
Yeah.
That'd be bigger. That'd be worse collateral.
You can only go on what you've seen.
Yeah,
who's played best the last 2 weeks? That's what I'm going off of.
100%.
I was putting him back in after the first game that Pickard played. And now I've changed my mind. I want to win. If I'm on that, I want to win. I think he gives me the best chance, just based on what I've seen. Not about anything. It's not a gut feeling. It's what I have seen. That's all I can go off of. Right? That's the only thing.
You play to win the game. Chris Knobloch. I asked Chris Knobloch today. So he was asked. He wouldn't say, obviously he wouldn't say. And by the way, if you're listening to this in podcast form tomorrow, you might already know because I think they're going to be on the ice at 9:30 in the morning. Knobloch wouldn't say. He said that he went on to talk about how great Pickard played and how he gave him a chance to win both games. So then I kind of said, well, what would the reasons be for maybe not playing him then? Like, what are you thinking about? And is the idea that 3 consecutive starts is something that he hasn't done this in a long time would factor into that as well. Here's a head coach.
Well, that was probably his first time he started back-to-back games in probably 8 years. He probably hadn't started back-to-back since he was with Colorado. And, he handled it very well and played extremely well. I thought he made some big saves and gave us, as I said, a chance to win. Handling it, it's not like it's back-to-back days. There is rest in between. So there is a possibility of him being able to handle it. And we'll just evaluate and see what's our best decision on who starts tomorrow.
It's going to be fascinating. I think we all agree on who the right decision is here, and we'll just have to wait and see which way they go. Good discussion, gents. And again, I believe they should start Pickard. I have a funny gut feeling that for different reasons, they'll start Stuart Skinner. We will have to wait and see. What do we want to talk about here, guys? Line combinations, who comes in, who comes out. We all agree that third line hasn't been good enough, but do you mess with the fourth line to try and fix the third line? Do you, like Struddy, do you bring a fresh body in? Let's assume that Adam Henrique can play. I'm going to look that way and say Adam Henrique can play. You making any other changes other than that?
If Henry can play, he's in. He's in 100%. I don't touch the fourth line. I'm not touching the top 6. So then someone comes off that third line. And I doubt it'd be McLeod. So then it comes down to Perry and Fogle. That's just how it's going to go. So I don't think that Fogle and Perry are built to play, or sorry, Fogle and McLeod are built to play with Perry. I just don't see the chemistry there right now. Do you guys?
I agree. And I think if Henry comes in, he'll take Perry's place. I believe he'll play on the third line to give a little bit more experience, a little juice to that line, because that line needs it the most. I feel that if Henrique's not ready to play, then I would move someone off the fourth line up. You're breaking up a line that plays 5 minutes, even strength a game. They've been good, but they're only playing 5 minutes. So move one of those guys up and play with Fogle and McLeod. Move either Perry down or move Perry up, Carrick on your line. But if Henrique comes in, I believe Perry comes out. If Henrique doesn't come in, I would move probably either Derek Ryan or Janmark up, and then I would put probably Carrick in on the fourth line and make a new fourth line.
Interesting. I mean, Connor Brown is an interesting one too. Like, really nice play, got the assist. Probably playing a little bit more confident in the hands. I'd like him to be more physical, but what else is new? But that might be an interesting one. Probably tough to take him out, Struddy, after the play that he made and being part of a line that was working well, would you say?
Yeah, it might be. I mean, your 3 right wingers, your choices are Carrick, Brown, and Perry. So do you want to get a little more tempo than Perry can provide? Or do you slide Perry down? And I think Janmark and Ryan will actually work well with Perry. I think they're more ground, more ground and pound, just in the game itself, right? Just in I know you're going to talk about the pace of the game, and I get all that, but those 3 guys understand. I think they understand that ground and pound game. I just don't think McLeod or Fogle have that right now.
So what you're saying, Struds, and I fully agree. If you look at Fogle and McLeod if you're looking at a basketball game, they're full court press. They like coming in off the rush. Sure. Perry is a half court offense.
100%. Well
so and Ryan and Janmark very good in the half court offense. They get pucks in deep below the ringette line or below the tops of the circles, and that's where they're effective. And we know, and McLeod alluded to it, McLeod's not a below the circles type of player. He's talked about it. He struggles to get to the front of the net, and that's where Perry wants him to be. So yes, I see 100% if you move Perry down with those 2, that would be much more effective than having him with McLeod and Fogle. Having said that, you can move Brown up. He's got speed that can play with those guys. But to me, I would find more ice time for Mattias Janmark. To me, he plays with abrasiveness. He's kind of like kind of like a Connor or Garland, but without not as skilled, but just doesn't stop. He's got no fear at all. And I think they need more of the abrasiveness like that, more than 5-6 minutes a night.
And good on the wall.
Very good on the wall.
Struds deep, but here's the thing. Do you think Chris Knobloch will try and get Connor McDavid away from JT Miller? Their head-to-head numbers, I mean, this is their head-to-head numbers. 47-22 at even strength out there against each other, and it's 2-0 Vancouver on the scoreboard at even strength when those guys are out there together. However, the shots are 24-13 Edmonton. So 64% of the shot share. But they have the option of trying to move McDavid away from JT Miller, and that Ryan line actually has had some good shifts against Miller. So you could trust Derek Ryan here and there on some shifts against that line. They've done it a little bit.
Yeah, I think getting away, mixing it up for McDavid obviously would be healthy. I mean, the team is getting chances, right? Other than last game, I think they've outshot Vancouver every game, I believe. And I think last game, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt that they were fatigued that second or third period. Because the first period, I thought they were great. They were snapping that puck around and playing well. And I believe they were out shooting Vancouver after the first. I might be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure they were. But anyways, yeah, I think you can move him away from that. But, you know, part of me just says too, like, put Connor up against JT and just, buddy, go get him. You know, like Connor, I think, has got that anger inside of him to want to prove that he is the best player in this series.
I'd put Draisaitl against JT Miller. That's why I wouldn't put Derek Ryan's line out against them. He might have had a little bit of success, but no, JT Miller's a beast. And if he's not checking Connor McDavid, the guy's got the ability. He's a 100-point scorer. So I don't want him going against my fourth line. I'm putting Leon against them, and now you got two mountains of men going head to head. And I think that's what you do. And then you free up Connor McDavid against the Lindholm, who is a great player as well. But I'd start finding third line. But I mean, start double shifting Connor against the other team's third and fourth lines. Take advantage of the home ice advantage. And that's where you're going to have the mismatches. And I would 100% every single chance I have get Connor McDavid out against Ian Cole. And Ian Cole is having a series to forget, and he's a much better player than what we've seen. But every time he touches the puck, it's going to the wrong player. So I would take advantage of that mismatch if they can do it. And they're on home ice, so you get a chance. Put Connor against Ian Cole.
He's been all over Ian Cole, hey?
And I like him. I really do. But it's one of those ones in the first game, everything went wrong, and now it's just in the back of your mind. And you're like, now you're second guessing yourself. And there was 3 times last game when the Canucks were awesome, where he got the puck in his own end and just snapped it to one of the Oilers players. I'm like, oh my God, seriously. So Cole I would take advantage.
He wants this series to end as fast as he can.
Well, and if the Canucks win, he'll probably be fantastic in the next series. But now, nothing is going right for Ian Cole. Take advantage of it.
Head coach is stuck with him, though. Head coach is stuck with him. Okay, let's get to our Relentless Player of the Day, brought to you by UCAN Youth Services and Edmonton Charity. Relentless in helping youth age 16 to 24 get out of harm's way and find employment. Visit ucan.ca to see how your donation can change lives right here in our community. Struddy, go to the golf course?
Yeah, we're going to go to the golf course. A wild day down to Valhalla in Kentucky. Kentucky's a great place if you haven't been there. But I'll go with Xander Schauffele. He's had a pretty good weekend. He's minus 12. The course played a little bit tougher today than the first day, where there were a few people up around minus 8, 9. But Xander Schauffele squeaked through, still one-shot lead through this pretty crazy tournament so far.
What a couple of days, eh? 62, 68?
Yeah.
He shot. I mean, that's 62 yesterday, Brownie.
Well, I mean, he did have an advantage. He didn't come from jail, so he had an advantage over some of the other players.
What did Scheffler shoot? He shot 67 right out of jail.
Right out of jail. See, I had a buddy on one of my golf trips that came right from jail, too, and he did not shoot a 67. I think he might have shot a 67 on the front 9.
Come on. Give us the story.
I'm not going to tell. Well, my buddy Clarky, he may have.
You'd have to give us his name.
Oh, I did. He may have he was overserved. And he took a ride in the police car. And instead of taking him home, it was the taxi's fault. We put him in a taxi. Everything was going good. And the taxi driver, it was a scam, told the police. Police took him to jail. He came right from the jail and played at the golf course. He smelled like jail. He had the same outfit on. He lost his round on the 10th tee box to Dusty. It wasn't pretty, but Clarky still, he was better. The next day, he had a very good round the next day. So, yeah, Clarky wasn't as good as Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah. And I mean, listen, we're poking some fun at Scotty Scheffler, but obviously it was a tragic event that happened, man. That's just
horrible.
Crazy, just awful. So we don't take that part of it lightly, but the idea that you come from jail after that incident happens with the police officer, whatever it was, and have to compete in a major championship, it'll be quite the story if he figures out a way to turn this whole thing around. Okay, break, and then we've got Struddy's World and Brownie Points coming up. Long Shots Golf is the destination for both golf enthusiasts and sports fans. Top-of-the-line TrackMan simulators provide a highly entertaining and accurate golf experience, while a full-service sports bar loaded with big screens and scratch kitchen make it a truly unique destination. They have locations in Sherwood Park and Edmonton. Experience the best indoor golf and sports bar in town. Visit longshots.ca. That's longshots with a Z.ca.
Spring is here, and if you're thinking of buying a new home during the housing market hot period, contacting a mortgage broker should be your first step. Maria Gallus with Maximo Mortgages can guide you with a stress-free experience. With access to dozens of different lenders, Maria's simplistic approach and expert advice will have you ready to put an offer in on your dream home. Take the stress out of your mortgage journey. Contact Maria Gallus at mortgagesbymaria.ca. That's mortgagesbymaria.ca.
For over 60 years, Belvedere Golf and Country Club has been delivering a high-quality golf experience to Edmonton and area. This beautiful private club, located on Highway 21 just south of Sherwood Park, occupies 160 acres and presents a challenging yet adventurous 18-hole design. A beautiful clubhouse, fully stocked pro shop, and warm, friendly staff truly make it feel like you belong to something unique and special. Visit www.belvederegcc.com.
When you make a mistake, heads should roll. It's not right. And I'm here. Someone has to put their foot down. Now that I say it out loud, it does sound a little crazy.
Gotta look good.
This is how much Brownie loves the segment. He knows Struddy's World is coming up, and look at him.
What?
He gone.
Let's go and get some beef jerky.
He is. That's our next segment. Time for Struddy's World, brought to you by Shipwreck Rum. Try the mango. The Brindley family has been handcrafting their rum on the Caribbean island of St. Kitts for decades now. They're vanilla blended with natural Madagascar vanilla. Incredible smoothness. Take one sip, you'll agree it's a vacation in a bottle. Get shipwrecked, Oiler fans, but do so responsibly, as always. Struddy, what do we got for Struddy's World tonight, my man?
Well, I got to give a little segment of the population some love. The New Jersey Devils traded for Curtis McDermott, and today they signed him to a 3-year contract. Now, the money it's good money, but it's not like Connor McDavid money. It's 3 years, I think at like 1.3 million or something like that. But I find it interesting. I feel like maybe some of these big boys are getting their chance again. And Big Mac gets his chance there for 3 years. And I just wonder how much it has to do with the fact that the Rangers have Adam Rempe. And Rempe was running wild over the NHL. Then McDermott came in there and kind of changed and pushed back a little bit for the New Jersey Devils. But it's interesting because I feel like, guys, I don't think we're going to see a return of just the solo enforcers. But the guy that can play a little bit who's big, like these really big guys, there might be an opportunity, especially when you see some of these local rivals have battles like this. Rangers, Devils.
The Matt Rempe effect. It's a thing. It's got to be a thing, man. That's one of their biggest rivals. And you don't want to be getting your show run, Brownie.
Well, I was a smaller skilled player. I loved having big, strong, physical, mean, nasty guys on my team. They were always my best friends. I got traded to the Chicago Blackhawks. I room with the Grim Reaper, Stu Grimson. He was my best friend. I'm like, hey, Grimmer, can I buy you dinner tonight? I played junior. Craig Berube was one of my line mates. Mark Kachowski was a line mate. Jay Caulfield was one of my best friends in Pittsburgh. I befriended every tough guy that I've ever played against or played with. I played in the minors in Fort Wayne, and they had a guy named Fletcher down there, and all he did in warm-up was skate across the red line back and forth. I asked the coach to be in the starting lineup because they always started him. And I was like, hey, Fletch, what's up, buddy? You should be in the NHL. Like, seriously, I befriended big, tough guys. I'm like, you're going to be my buddy whether you're on my team or not. So, yes, it is. I think the Hughes brothers and some of the other skilled players on the New Jersey Devils are like, yes, this is something we'd like to have on our bench. It makes us feel a little bit better as hockey players.
Struds, they're very small. I'll say this. The Devils are very small. They need to get bigger. And not just by bringing in a nuclear deterrent like this. They've got to add size to their lineup. Look at their forwards. Way too small. Way too small.
Struds, was there ever anybody that, I mean, push came to shove, and I don't expect you to name names, but like the way guys treated you, did that affect your willingness to step in when shit got ugly with them on the ice?
No, I always went in there. Even I know you're thinking Sean Avery. I went in. I just
Actually,
couldn't
I
help
wasn't.
myself.
I wasn't.
No, I couldn't help myself. I honestly, I had to. I just, you know why? Because I think if you gave an inch, guys would take a mile. I had to go in there, and I didn't always. And there's sometimes I'm like, oh God, please don't. You get the refs in here quick, but you just you got to do it. Like I could not cheat it. I couldn't cheat the game.
Did you ever take a beating stepping in?
Well, I'm sure I did. I remember one night we were playing Vancouver. We were the Vancouver Canucks, Naslin and Bertuzzi, and we were playing Minnesota, and we were spanking them. And they, at the end of the game, I was happy. I think I was maybe plus a couple. I was in good mood, and they started chirping Brad Brown about how bad they thought he was, and he was the same as me. So he loses it, and he goes after them. So old Uncle Struddy has to saddle back up, get out there, and I fight this guy. And after the game, I was so mad. They were laughing, and I went and I gave it to those two. And I can't say exactly what I said here, but I made it very clear how I felt. I'm like, don't ever make me effing do this when it doesn't mean anything. And they both kind of looked at me. I think they were really caught off guard. And the next day, Naslin came and he apologized and said, I'll be better for it in the future. And I was pissed, really pissed.
Interesting. They made Uncle Struddy mad.
Well, you shouldn't fight for that. At that point, fighting for no reason. Why are we fighting for no reason? It doesn't make any sense.
All right, that was Struddy's World, brought to you by Shipwreck Rum. We're going to roll right through to Brownie Points, get these two amazing segments right back to back. And Hamel's Beef Jerky is the proud sponsor of Brownie Points, an Alberta-based family-owned business. Opened in 1962, their jerky out of this world, as we know. For the entire month of May, 1.5 pounds of jerky for $55. And how about free shipping as well? Mix and match from their 14 flavors. Fast shipping anywhere in Alberta. Visit albertajerky.com. Did you have some on the drive up, Struds?
I did. Yeah, I'm thirsty. You can see. I love it, but I'm thirsty for this. Is just water. I could just club soda.
All
thirsty
right.
Old dog.
Although the two sponsors in these segments could get along well, right? Like have a little Alberta Hamel's premium jerky on the ride up, and then quench your thirst with some Shipwreck Rum. I love it.
It's so good. It was so good.
Go to it, Brownie. We're gonna look forward to you saying this name you've been practicing.
I'm keeping it. Well, actually, there's a couple names I'm really gonna mess up in this one.
I love it.
And I'm gonna start first with 16 brownie points to Barkov of the Florida Panthers. I don't know if you guys watched the game, but late in the game, hanging on to a 1-goal lead, Barkov blocks a one-timer by Pasternak with his with the front of his hand. He goes to the bench. They take him out back with only 4 minutes to go to the game. Yet he still comes back for the last shift of the game and gets the puck out. So Barkov, he is a true professional hockey player, one of the best, if not best, defensive forwards in the National Hockey League.
Matt Tkachuk said he's the best player in the world right now.
No, he's unbelievable. He's one of my favorites. He's Kopitar East. I got 13 brownie points to the Colorado Avalanche. They got an absolute gut punch before Game 4. They walk into the rink. They find out their leading goal scorer, Nakushkin.
Close enough.
Thank you.
Pardon me? Which player?
Nakushkin, number 13, that used to play for the Colorado Avalanche.
Oh, number 13, yeah.
Number 13. He's leaving the team for the next 6 months in the middle of the playoffs, back-to-back years that he's left the team. Yet the Colorado Avalanche go in, down 3-1, win in Dallas. They're now on home ice. It's 1-1 late, so the Colorado Avalanche trying to move on without one of their star players. I got 50 brownie points to my mother. She made me meatloaf today. It was fantastic. So thanks, Mom. My wife and daughter are away.
Why 50?
I didn't know what number to give her, but I thought 50 was a nice
Must
number.
not have been that good.
And I just wanted to make sure.
I mean, you give these things away pretty liberally. I would say, what's your mom's name, Brownie?
Karen.
Karen. I think he could have done better, Karen, based on the brownie points.
Well, she did say that she made my favorite meatloaf, and I've told her I don't think I've ever had meatloaf before in my life, so it's only 50 points. Okay. It was fantastic, but it's only 50 points. I got 75 brownie points to Shaugger for adding in an off-day podcast. There we go. Shaugger gets it because I think we needed one of these to start pumping up tomorrow's game.
We did. Thanks, buddy.
And my last one, I have 34 brownie points for Vancouver Canucks. Di Giuseppe.
You did it.
Yes.
Which player?
Phil Di Giuseppe. And for anybody who doesn't know, Brownie asked us how to say the name, and spent the entire last commercial break just absolutely butchering it.
Well, I spelled it D-E-J-E Seppi. I just made his own name up. But D. Giuseppe, who had missed game 3 and 4 of this series. His wife was in a very difficult labor, has been for 9 months. He flew home, wife and baby, both healthy, and came back in his first game from the hospital and scored a goal against the Edmonton Oilers the other night. I know he's an opposition player, but I'm giving him 34 brownie points. Good on him.
Love it.
Brownie points brought to you by Hamel's Premium Jerky. What a segment. I get 15 more points for making you work tonight.
25 more.
What'd you say? 70? Oh.
75. Mom got 50. 75 minus 50 is 25. Not your fault. Math. That's why your wife does her paychecks.
Between your math and Brownie's pronunciation, we got a lot going on over here.
This is a grade 6 graduating class right here.
We're the elevated, intelligent Oiler podcast, folks. Okay, Brownie, go have some leftovers, buddy. Thanks. We'll talk after the game tomorrow night.
All right, sounds good, guys.
Meatloaf. Mom, meatloaf.
We got any more breaks, Zuby, or are we done with the breaks?
We are done with the breaks. We're rolling the rest of the
So we're
way.
rolling. Okay, let's keep rolling. We're over time tonight too, so we're going to blitz through these, but there's going to be good content. Let's get to Taking a Lap, brought to you by Backscape. You know it because we show it to you every podcast, and you know it's newer and better because they're rocking that 2.0 deluxe handle. And check out that 2.0 deluxe kit that they've got it in. That shave head just kind of snaps right in there. I've used it. It's cool. It works really well. This guy's using it. It's working well for him, isn't it? And then, it's easy, smooth and easy on the skin. Doesn't leave you all beat up. So highly recommend it. Good product. We got a deal for you as well. You go to backscape.com. That's bakscape.com. And GYB10 is your promo code. That'll get you 10% off their advanced or deluxe kits. Backscape. Stay smooth, gentlemen. Struddy, what are we doing, bud?
Well, no surprise. Big news of the day on a Friday. Makes no sense that they dropped this, but Craig Berube officially named the coach for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And I don't like this pick for the Leafs. I think there'll be a change in the way that
Did you say you don't like this pick?
No, I do like it. I think I don't like how they did it on a Friday night, but I do like the pick for them. I like that. I think he's going to bring harder, maybe not criticism, but a little bit more grounding of the team and how they're supposed to play and everyone doing the same thing. I think that's really good. I do hope that they find a new power play coordinator, but that is the TBD apparently. But I like this pickup for the Leafs, but there's a lot of work to do. This isn't even step one. This is like step -5 to get to where I think they need to get to.
Yeah, he's interesting. I think my dealings with him and what I've found, and he was on the big stage, right? He was in the Stanley Cup final. Straightforward. Tocchet almost reminds me a little bit. He's not as smooth-spoken as Tocchet. Like, Tocchet is excellent and very off the cuff and very natural. Berube is, I would say, equally as frank at times. Not quite as smooth, but he seems like you're getting the straight goods from him. And Struds, I get the feeling that players would be getting the straight goods from that guy. And I think somebody that can sit in front of Mitch Marner and just deliver the straight goods, like matter of fact, and I think that probably would be a good thing.
Yeah, I think so. And it's not just Mitch. I think that the whole team just needs a reset. And I actually was on overdrive today and I was criticized a little bit, but I just said, guys, if this team was not in Toronto, I wouldn't talk about them as perennial Stanley Cup favorites. They wouldn't. They have one series win over Austin Matthews' tenure there. And yeah, we can talk about the Game 7 loss and all that, but at the end of the day, you've won one series. So you're not going to, they would not be, if they were in Columbus, no one would be talking about them. So I think this team has a lot of work to do to get what I would call to a legitimate level of competing for Stanley Cups.
All right, where we go next?
Today, I believe I first saw in the fourth period. I'm not sure who else to credit, but apparently the Jets have or may look at moving Nick Ehlers. He of the pretty good player for them, a speedy winger. He's got 1 year left at $6 million, and according to the fourth period, they're looking at maybe making a trade for a D-man. D-men are always valuable. So up for next year, they have Morrissey, Nate Schmidt, Neil Pionk, and Dylan Sandberg. And Logan Stanley, they can re-sign him, just a young player. DeMello, Dylan, and Colin Miller are all gone as UFAs, or not gone, but maybe looking to be gone. So maybe trying to get a little bit younger, a little bit quicker on the back end. But I saw that, and I'm not saying I was surprised by it. Not that I think he should be traded, but that team is constantly trying to upgrade and adding a D. Maybe there's a move out there for Nick Ehlers.
I believe Murat Atesh from The Athletic might have been the one who originally reported. Not sure.
If it was
anyways,
him,
all good. No, we just sort of, if we will credit the right place if we can, but I'm not 100% sure. He said, I fully expect Ehlers to be shopped and likely moved between now and the draft. They have floated Ehlers' name in trade talks before, 1 year left on his deal, and at least some concerns about the team's ability to retain him. Winnipeg's best trade chip, the suggestion is, for repairing its defense or picking up a first-round pick in this year's draft. Ehlers says there's been no talk with Chevy so far. Still definitely have to talk to him with my agent as well. So it's not an answer I can give you right now. I'm just trying to see when that one. Yeah, that was a few days ago. That one was a little bit ago. So that would be interesting, though. I mean, Winnipeg, it was all about retaining their guys and keeping the band together, and it was big for them to be able to do that. So to have a significant one on the way out would be interesting.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And adding a D does make sense. It does, especially if the guys are losing.
Yeah,
or could lose.
All right, that was taking a lap. 2 solid laps there from Struddy, brought to you by Backscape. Struds, you don't know this, but at the beginning of the poll, as we'll bring in Zuby here, at the beginning of the show, actually, we put up a poll on YouTube. I asked Zuby to challenge Oiler fans on this stream how they're really feeling about this series. We want honesty. We want honesty from them. And let's get to those results as we get to Ask Us Anything, brought to you by Match Eatery and Public House. If you only got time for one before the game, make it a frosty 25-ouncer at Match Ice District. Enjoy the supersized steins on select beers located adjacent to Rogers Place in Grand Villa Casino. For more information, check them out at matchpub.com. So, Zuby, what was the question? What were the options, and what were the results, my friend?
Okay, here's how I worded it. Maybe we'll let Struddy vote too before I give the results. I said, how are you feeling about the remainder of this series? Really? The choices were nervous. Second choice was optimistic and even keeled. Third choice was fearful, and the fourth choice was despair.
I'm going to go optimistic to get it to Game 7. It just feels like this is going to be a Game 7 series. So optimistic at the Game 7, but then winning in Vancouver, it's going to be tough.
Oh, you're muted, Shaggy. What happened there?
Sorry about that. I was going to ask Struds for you to say what you think Oiler fan picked. What order do you think the fans picked?
The ones that text me today are in despair.
All right, Zuby, drum roll. What are the results?
Well, despair actually came in last, which I think is a good thing. 236 votes. We had 41% said nervous. That was the runaway winner.
Okay.
24% optimistic and even keeled. Fearful 20%, despair 14. I think fearful is like maybe fearful of the aftermath. That's kind of where I was going with that. So maybe fearful of the aftermath of being eliminated. But of course, if you put the sort of the negative ones together, it's a big optimistic and even keeled was kind of the only positivity in there, and that was only 24%. But it still finished second of the 4 choices.
Some nervous energy. Bring some of their thoughts to us, Zuby. What do we got?
Okay. Gabriella said, so Henrique is a game time decision. It sounds more like he's doubtful than not, but if as currently a game time decision, if he does come in, will he be playing his best, and will he be able to win faceoffs?
He won't be playing his best, and winning faceoffs is probably easier than playing your best.
I have concerns about the type of injury and his foot speed. And if his foot speed is diminished at all, he's going to have a hard time making an impact. But if he's available and healthy, probably got to go with him. So we'll see what he's got if he goes.
Corey Marsland says, if the Canucks are getting stronger the longer the series goes, then the Oilers will really regret the earlier losses. Do you agree with that statement?
Oh, the game one. That was a killer, man. That's a real killer. I think that's the game I'd look at. You had it completely under control.
Keep going there, Zuby. I'm just checking a report right now, so go ahead.
Okay. 4PF Cardi says, "What?" Well, actually, I'm going to skip that one because Shaugger, we might need you on that one. Let's go to Mike Smith said, "Are you guys disappointed in Nuge's play? We haven't talked about him a ton, but would you say you're disappointed in Nuge's play in this playoff or in this series?"
I think he's been better since they put the lines back together. But not surprisingly, you're playing with a really good player. He scored a big goal. What was that, game 4, I believe, on that 3-on-1 or 2-on-1, whatever you call it. So yeah, I think that he's been better since the lines have been put back together.
I think contribution-wise, Struds, the points you make are fair, but I do think there's another level of sort of playoff gamesmanship that Nugent Hopkins is capable of, and I think he's been probably on the wrong side of the competitive factor for me. Clarifying, Jason Gregor tweeting 27 minutes ago, Adam Henrique will not be available for Game 6, according to Gregor, and that he does expect Sam Carrick to play. So we will see tomorrow morning at morning skate, but some early reporting there from Jason Gregor.
There we go. Sapporo J said, "Is Skinner hobbling a bit?" One Vancouver media member reported seeing that. Is there any indication Skinner might be dinged up?
Yeah, there was something at the end of a practice. I heard the same thing too, but it's nothing I can report because I didn't see it myself. So I'm not sure where that report came from, but there were some whisperings of that. We'll keep a close eye on that tomorrow morning and see.
Okay, I got a good one here Struddy's going to like. From McDavid's Holy Socks, he said, "I miss the days when we started our third or fourth lines to start the game just to crush people in the first shift." Think about that. There's not really a question there, but think like that right now for this team that is not even on the radar. That's not even in the universe of that being a possibility. I mean, that's a problem,
I think
right?
you start your second line, Leon, Kane, and Holloway. Right? I think that's a line that you entrust to say, guys, we're starting this line, and you guys are going to go out there and set the tone because those three guys can do it. I think they are the group, physically, attitude-wise, cockiness, maybe not so much Holloway, but the other two can share a little with him.
Top line, McDavid, speed, skill, goal scoring. Second line, energy, physicality, amazing skill. Fourth line, some penalty killers, grinders, face-off guy. Third line, what? Like, what is the identity? What, like some speed that goes kind of...
Yeah.
Some ineffective speed is where it's at right now.
Yeah.
No identity. Zero.
Okay. Tave Sakane said he wants to... Can we talk about fans being robbed of playoff OTs with garbage last-minute goals? Is this just the modern NHL? I don't know. Maybe you have a thought on just... I think he's also surprised that's like, where's the locking it down? Like, where's the lockdown? There have been a bunch of game-changing goals in the really late in games. Do you see anything different leading to that?
I don't know why that is. And I can't really, I wonder if it feels like there's been less overtime games this year. I don't have stats to back that up, but it feels like it. I don't know why that would be. It feels like momentum's changing more as you watch games than in previous years. Now, again, I can't back that up with any stats. It's just a gut.
Okay, another one from Mike Smith. He wanted me to get this one in there. He says, reading between the lines, listening to Rashog and other pundits, if Knoblauch is coaching the team to be rather indifferent to hitting in the playoffs, isn't that a major problem? Isn't that a big concern going forward in your mind?
Well, let's go the other way. What does he value? Right? What is he valuing that he feels, if that isn't true, indeed the case? What is hitting limit what he values his team doing instead?
Let me think. He wants to defend well. So he obviously does not like it when players run out of position to make a big hit, which is fair. Not a lot of coaches do, and that can cause mistakes. So I would say he values puck possession. He values strong defensive play and reads. He values good sticks and good positioning and being on the right side. So he values defensive play over guys going out there being energetic and making sure to finish checks and take a physical toll on the opposition. So I don't know. That answer it? I do think it's a problem. I don't think it's realistic to think you can win in the playoffs without demanding everybody to meet a minimum level of commitment and physical commitment. I just don't think you win it's the hardest trophy in sports to win, and I don't think you win without a commitment to playing a certain way, and I don't think this team processes it that way right now.
Couple things here from 4PF Cardi, and you can kind of pick and choose here. It's all sort of on the same topic. First, he said, what type of illness is this team dealing with? And why does McDavid have the immune system of a toddler? Which we don't have to talk about that, but I did think that was funny. And I don't agree with that necessarily.
Matthias Ekholm's banged up for sure. Like, he's sick. He sounded awful the last time we talked to him. He hasn't been skating, hasn't been practicing. I wonder, Struds, if they go 11-7, because if Ekholm hasn't gotten better, and we saw what happened at the end of last game, where he had the short change, right? So I'm interested to see what happens there.
Well, 2 days apart, right? So he has time to, people get healthy, right? So I think that makes a difference. You could see it, but you're bringing in a D-man that hasn't played at all, which is always a little nerve-wracking. So how much is he going to play? If you're doing that, I think you're trying to get Connor more ice time. And I could see that happening. He plays on two lines.
All right, Zuby, one more, bud, and then we're going to wrap it up.
Is there any indication that like, were they shielding the way that Ekholm was like interacting with the rest of the team, or like was there concern about that spreading throughout the team?
I mean, he's on the road with the team. He's on the plane with the team. Yeah. He's on the bench with the team. He's out there and warm up with it. I mean, at a certain point, yeah, sure. I mean, I'm sure he's trying not to share water bottles and, share a fork at dinner with someone, but Struds, there's not much you can do, man. Like, it's
pretty hard. I mean, when guys are really sick on the plane, they just kind of put him in a corner, let's put a sheet around him.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. The other last thing for PF Cardi was, and I saw this as well. He says thoughts on Tim Peel reporting McDavid and Hyman injuries. Now we know who and what Tim Peel is, but does he's kind of the only one out there saying that he's connected.
No, he's not.
Oh, is he not?
We've been talking about it on the show. Like, I think that McDavid is probably banged up right now. I think that these additional minutes that he's been given maybe have tweaked something that he was already dealing with. He's got 1 assist in 3 playoff games. It's playoffs, and we know he started playoffs with an injury. So McDavid potentially being nicked up isn't anything new. Zach Hyman, I think we can tell, Struds, just in the overall quality at even strength from Hyman, he's probably dealing with something too. So nothing against Tim Peel or anything like that, but I don't view that as breaking news, Struds.
Yeah, no, and that's fair. I think that, when you get deeper in the playoffs, you're getting hit, you're getting knocked around. Brad Marchand said it the other day. You're trying to hurt the other team, break them.
All right, that was Ask Us Anything, brought to you by Match Eatery and Public House. Time now for our play of the day, brought to you by Play Alberta. Playoffs are wild. We all know that. And this year, Play Alberta is making it even wilder. A deposit with the promo code GYB50. Had a couple people ask me yesterday, what is the promo code? GYB50 snags you a $50 free sports bet with your next deposit. Bonus terms and conditions will apply, but all sorts of great stuff going on over at playalberta.ca with the Oilers and with this playoff run. And as always, please play responsibly. Struddy, what do you got for a play of the day today, buddy?
You can play the music, Zoop, because I'm walking this one off. Nothing like scoring the game winner and the series winner for Gustav Forsling with $1:33 left in the game. Oh. He gets the goal. They get the win. Good night, Boston. Florida's on to the conference final.
That was massive. Massive. Boy, have you ever heard the air come out of a building the way it did in Boston? That was unreal. It was just, oof.
It's tough. That's a tough one, especially you think you're going overtime or whatever. That's a series killer right there for Gustav Forsling. A waiver pickup, I believe, from Chicago, if I remember correctly.
Unreal. Okay, Zuby, thanks, buddy. We didn't get to a scoreboard because, this Colorado game is still going. Dallas and Colorado 1-1 here in overtime, so we're not sure what's going to happen with that one, but we tried to wait as long as we could, unfortunately. So no scoreboard for tonight, but we'll have one for you, courtesy our good friends at De Boer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center tomorrow.
It's a good thing we didn't have it because Struddy basically just said what I was going to say in the scoreboard, so now you did Gustav Forsling. It was the play of the day. It worked out perfect.
Yeah, De Boer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center. Fantastic spot. You need any clubs? Struds, you had the kids there, right? They went well?
They were with Leslie. They're loving it. We went and played the other night. Hitting bombs. Thanks to Leslie.
Really?
Yeah.
And so they got new clubs there.
Yeah, got them fitted. They got them all set up. Yeah, and then they also sold my son a box of Pro V1s. That's a thank you. Thank you for that sale. There was nothing else there. They don't have anything else. My son's like, these feel great. Yeah, they do feel great.
This is so soft coming off my club, Dad.
I couldn't believe it. He's like, I bought a box of balls. Which ones? These ones? I'm like, are you kidding me?
Scotty saw you coming a mile away, buddy. He's like, this kid's dad has dollars. I smell NHL money on this kid.
I got to talk to Leslie. He was the one who's helping. I'm like, what? That's all you can find?
Love it.
Your dad will love these.
All right, good stuff. Thanks, guys. We'll chat after the game tomorrow night. Yep. Thank you to everybody that joined us tonight on the live stream. We really appreciate it. And thanks to our title sponsor as well, Sherwood Buick GMC. Oilers, Canucks, season on the line, set to go tomorrow. Enjoy. We'll talk tomorrow.